Alright, so today this decode is going to be on the rapper Goonew, his death, his ritualistic funeral, um, and, how his body was propped up, similar to Jesus on the cross. That's what it was representing. So we're going to decode all that. But I want to just start off by saying you'll probably hear some cars in the background. I'm sure you do now. I'm just somewhere right now that, somewhere different, making this video, so sorry about that, but just thought I'd go ahead and record it, and, so, before we get into the numbers, just why rappers, if you're new, why rappers are always, in these Jesus rituals. Well, rapper and Jesus both equal 74 in the same cipher. Tupac, probably the most, when you hear rapper, you probably think of Tupac, right? Probably known as the greatest rapper of all time, the most famous one, probably. Tupac equals 74. But my point is, there's been more black men used in these Jesus rituals. And that's because, rapper, when you think rapper, not to be stereotypical, racist, no. It's just the fact that most rappers are black, right? And not only that, but in the Bible, it gets biblical that Jesus is actually described as having hair of wool and bronze skin. So that's why you see black people more so used in these Jesus rituals. Or these crucifixion type rituals. So, and this is the latest example, so we'll just get into it. So, rapper Goonew, out of Maryland, and think about that, Maryland, state named after the Virgin Mary, right? And actually, Mary the Virgin, or the Virgin Mary, however you want to phrase it, and Holy Virgin Mary, I believe. Both those phrases equal 74 in reverse reduction. So Goonew was shot on March 18th, and this is the 77th day of the year. And his real first name, Mark L, equals 77. Already, probability, just using sense, what are the chances of that? But why? Why 77th day of the year, connecting to his real first name, and this Jesus ritual that we're gonna show is because Christ equals 77. Okay? That's why this went down. And continuing, like I said, body at the funeral propped up, symbolic, or representing how Jesus was on the cross, and who's known for being a sacrifice for mankind, and the term sacrificed equals 77. And also, where was this at? His funeral. His body was propped up like that at his funeral. Funeral equals 77 as well. I mean, it's just so obvious already. But we'll just bury this decode, and make it more undeniable than it already is. But Goonew has a song called Life or Death, and it released exactly a year before he was confirmed to be dead. So, having said this, Life or Death equals 58, and he died a span of 58 days before his birthday. And this is the big Freemasonry number, 58, secret society, 58. You know, these rappers, these entertainers, how do you think they just, get the platform they have? We're in a world that is run by an algorithm. That's why it's called a matrix. And and matrix equals 77 to go with the 77s. Anyways, these rappers sell out. And generally, it is to Freemasonry because that's the most popular secret society. And on top of that, the 58s, his funeral was at Bliss nightclub. Bliss nightclub equals 58. I mean, it's just like, really? And I'll get to why it was at specifically Bliss nightclub. And that's because Bliss equals 74, and, I've already touched on 74s, and if you know, you know, but I'll still get to it a little later. But, so as I've proved, many people have proved that this is all scripted by the Jesuit order, or known as the Society of Jesus. And, think about it, Society of Jesus, doing these Jesus rituals, body propped up like Christ on the cross on 4/3, like 43, Society of Jesus equals 191. 191 is the 43rd prime. I mean, it's just so obvious, but I'm going to touch on the numbers further on that later. But to stick to where I'm at right now, the Jesuit order equals 177. Jesuit order is the New World Order. New World Order equals 177. The Mark of the Beast equals 177. And this number 177 ties in because Goonew's funeral was 177 days before the Jesuit order's birthday. And as Goonew was a rapper out of Maryland, rapper and Maryland both equal 34, which is the date of his funeral can be written that way. Outside the U.S., predominantly it's written that way, 3/4, like 34. And in addition, church equals 34. This is important. Where did the Jesuits operate out of? The Catholic Church, right? And cross equals 34. Jesus, like Jesus does, Jesus 34. And on top of that, black, murder, and Goonew all equal 34. The numbers suggest that Jesus, if he was alive, not only the description from the Bible, but the numbers, if Jesus really did exist in a human form, like many proclaim, that evidence suggests that Jesus was black. Just saying, not white. Anyways, and Goonew and murder are actually a match in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. And then continuing, it's no coincidence that TMZ emphasized. So when news sources and articles and such, they emphasize words, there's gematria behind it. I learned that from Zachary K. Hubbard, Gematria Effect News. The gematria teacher. Why I know this. So yeah, all this possible because of him. Appreciate it. And so yeah, this is what they did. They emphasized standing, and standing equals 34. And like I said, the date of his funeral can be written 3/4. And then, how we write it here in the US, 4/3. Like 43, which connects to Jesus Christ, Black Christ, killing, and murdered. And then I already said how Society of Jesus equals 191. And 191's the 43rd prime. And they're, probably behind science coming out and, how it's known now that Jesus was crucified on April 3rd. Well, they're probably behind that. So, and then, so he was shot in District Heights, Maryland, location equating to 139, and Markel, his first name, also equals 139. Oh yeah, and then Freemasonry also equals 139. And his death, Goonew's death, was confirmed on a date with 44 and 64 numerology, and kill equals 44 and 64. So he was confirmed dead on March 19th, right? 22, 3 plus 19, 22 plus 22, the year, 44. That's how you get the 44, and then add the 20, you get 64. And in addition, shooting and execution both equal 44. And then as for 64, he called himself Big 64, and on his YouTube channel, I think even his Twitter, that I think they took down now, his name was Goonew 64. So, yeah, and the nightclub his family had his funeral at, Bliss, like I said, equals, Bliss nightclub, Bliss equals 74. And, why there? Why did they say it was called that? Why that nightclub? Well, because rapper, Jesus, cross, Black Christ, Jesus Christ, killing, also Masonic, equals 74. And, I mean, this is even more undeniable, as they had his funeral in Washington, D.C., which is like the Masonic capital of maybe even the world, but at least America. I mean, my gosh. I mean, could it get more obvious? So yeah, I mean, it's just unreal how undeniable it is. And, I mean, and this is just going to get even more undeniable. It's just nuts. And let me just say that, Zachary K. Hubbard, Gematria Effect News, I saw this video and, was inspired off of that to go and, make further finds myself. So, when I get to these connections here with the 93, most of these I got from him, so I'm just kind of presenting what he already did. But, some of these I found for myself. Like the fact that Goonew's birthday is on May 14th, and so what would have been his 25th birthday would have came 93 days before the Society of Jesus was founded. Okay? And that was a find. That was my own find. As well as his YouTube channel's name, and I think deleted Twitter, name Goonew64. Goonew64 also equals 93. And then, these are where, I got these connections from Zach. Learning from him, this number, 93, connects to the day of the year his funeral was on, the 93rd day of the year. And the fact that crucifix, God's Son, aka Jesus, so crucifix, God's Son, and Triclavianism all equal 93. that's why his funeral was on the day it was, because it was the 93rd day of the year. Again, funeral where he's propped up like Jesus on the cross. Similar to that. And Triclavianism is, for people that don't know, because I didn't know till somewhat recently, Triclavianism is the belief or the theory that Jesus was crucified with 3 nails. And, that's just another connection. And, well, also, if you don't know, I made this find myself, crucifixion and 3 stakes, because stakes / nails, just a different word for it. Crucifixion and 3 stakes are a match in 3 out of the 4 base ciphers. Kind of, tying into the Triclavianism theory. But then another word, a couple more words and phrases that connect to 93 is Nazareth, as Jesus was from Nazareth, and as Jesus is the personification of the sun, solar man equals 93. Something I've learned, something else I've learned from Zach, and the fact that they say the sun is 93 million miles away. So, and then another source, reporting a Goonew's death was made sure to emphasize that Goonew was shot and killed. Shot and killed is a phrase equating to 134, and his funeral was 134 days before the Society of Jesus' birthday. And then Goonew's birthday is on the 134th day of the year. I mean, my gosh. And what would have been his upcoming birthday is 229 days after the Jesuit order's birthday. And the phrase crucifixion of Christ equals 229. And then again, what would have been his upcoming birthday is a span of 137 days before the Jesuit order's birthday. And that connects to his funeral being in Washington, D.C., a location equating to 137. 137 being the prime number, or excuse me, 137's prime number is 33, connecting to God's Son, Jesus, and said to have died at age 33. And then Sunday also equals 33, and this was, in fact, the day of the week Goonew's funeral was on. I mean, really, it couldn't get more sick. It couldn't be more ritualistic than this. And Masonry equals 33 as well. And, Scottish Rite Freemasonry has 33 degrees. And then there was actually a crown on the top of Goonew's head at his funeral. And corona means crown, right? And think about how this relates to the sun. Corona, the outermost layer of the sun. Corona equals 33. And, of course, the Masons controlled by the Jesuits or under the Jesuits, the Jesuit order. Jesuitic equals 33. So, just tie that all back to the Jesuits, which we know control the world. I mean, generally, as it is. But yeah, here's the gematria, so. And then to touch on his funeral being in, Washington, D.C., very Masonic place. D.C., equals 47. DC is owned by the Vatican, or the Catholic Church, the Jesuits. Vatican equals 47. And, where Washington, D.C. is the capital city of the country, right? 47, capital city. White House, where, is in D.C., White House 47. And then, as well as some other terms relating to government, which I actually forgot to put in there. But yeah, you get it. And all the 47s, just strengthening my point in Masons, the Masonic compass. 47 degrees on the compass, but including the square, you get 137 degrees, tying back to the 137, Washington, D.C. equating the 137, and the other connection to Goonew and the Jesuit order. But yeah, so you get it. I mean, it's just, it couldn't be more scripted. It couldn't. Okay, I forgot to add this in the video. Tuck it in somewhere. So, if you look up Goonew's Life or Death video, or lyric video, it shows, and I don't think you'll be able to see it. You're going to have to look it up for yourself, but I'm showing it the best I can. It says, so it has him leaning on a grave, which seems to be his grave, considering what I went over with it coming out a year before he was confirmed dead. But, exactly a year before he was confirmed dead. But, if you can see, or look it up for yourself, notice how it says sunrise and sunset, meaning birth, death. Okay, so you got sunrise equals 33, okay? Like birth does. Okay, cool. Well, one, with the 33s, it ties in to the Jesus ritual, right? In two ways. Jesus said to die at age 33. Okay. And then, the word sunrise, like Jesus is the personification of the sun, which can be overwhelmingly proved. And then the other thing is, notice how sunrise in Jewish gematria equals 514, like 5/14, or May 14th, which is Goonew's birthday. Not kidding. Look, let's look it up. Real time. Goonew's birthday. And most sources will tell you that I'm correct. See? May 14th. That wasn't by accident, so what does that suggest? What's my point? It's suggesting that in this lyric video, he's leaning on his own grave. So, yeah, I mean, couldn't be more obvious. But, yeah, that's all I had to add, so thank you guys for watching, and I'm out. Peace.